This is USA News Hub, the heart of American sports. Subscribe for power, passion, and champions. Melbourne doesn't care about reputation. It doesn't care about rankings. And it certainly doesn't care about past trophies. Every January, it asks one brutal question: who are you right now? On Wednesday night, two of the biggest names in women's tennis answered that question very differently. Aryna Sabalenka survived. Coco Gauff dominated. Same destination, round 3. Completely different journeys. And that contrast may decide who lifts the trophy when this Australian Open is over. Welcome back to the Australian Open, where the early rounds don't just eliminate players, they expose truths. On paper, the stories looked identical. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka beat China's Bai Zhouxian 6-3, 6-1 at Rod Laver Arena. World number 3 Coco Gauff cruised past Olga Danilovic 6-2, 6-2 at Margaret Court Arena. 2 wins. Two top seeds advancing. But if you watched closely, these matches told very different stories about dominance, pressure, and unfinished business. Trophy Aryna Sabalenka, the weight of a dynasty. Aryna Sabalenka didn't walk into Melbourne chasing confidence. She walked in carrying history. The Belarusian arrives as two-time Australian Open champion 2023-2024, five-time Grand Slam winner, current world number 1. The standard everyone is measuring against. This tournament isn't a mystery for Sabalenka. It's territory she already owns. And that changes everything. When Sabalenka loses a game, it's a surprise. When she drops a set, it's news. When she loses a match, it's considered an upset, regardless of the opponent. That's the price of dominance. Crossed swords, the Bai Zhouxian test. Bai Zhouxian came into Wednesday's match as a massive underdog. Smaller frame. Less power. Virtually no expectation. But what Bai brought was strategy. She defended relentlessly. She mixed drop shots. She absorbed pace instead of fighting it. And for the first time this tournament, Sabalenka had to think. The first set wasn't smooth. 7 set points. 7. That's not a stat you associate with a defending champion in week 1. Sabalenka wasn't losing, but she wasn't cruising either. Brain adaptation over annihilation. What separated this performance from a routine win was adjustment. Sabalenka didn't panic. She didn't force low-percentage winners. She came forward. Mixed pace. Served and volleyed. Changed angles. This wasn't brute force. This was a champion managing resistance. Once the first set fell her way, the match tilted. The second set became a showcase of physical disparity. But the warning had already been delivered. This Australian Open, Sabalenka will not be handed matches. White medium star Coco Gauff. The quiet confidence of a contender. On the other side of Melbourne Park, Coco Gauff was doing something very different. She wasn't adjusting. She was dictating. Against Olga Danilovic, Gauff looked composed, explosive, and completely in control. From the opening games, elite returning. Clean movement. Controlled aggression. This wasn't a test. This was a statement. Chart increasing Gauff's Melbourne problem. And yet, here's the paradox. Coco Gauff is a French Open champion, a US Open champion, a top 3 mainstay. But at the Australian Open, the ceiling remains stubbornly low. She has never won here. Never even reached a final. Melbourne is the one slam that hasn't broken her way. And that silence carries weight. Puzzle piece, different questions, different pressures. Sabalenka's question is simple. Can you repeat? Gauff's question is more uncomfortable. Can you finally become who everyone believes you are here? That distinction shapes everything. Sabalenka plays knowing she belongs. Gauff plays still trying to prove that she does, in this place. Tennis match styles tell the story. Sabalenka's match was about problem-solving. Gauff's match was about execution. Sabalenka faced resistance and adapted. Gauff never needed a second plan. But Grand Slams don't reward ease early. They reward resilience late. and sooner or later, Gauff will face someone who refuses to fade quietly. Input numbers the seeding advantage, and its trap. Yes, Sabalenka is number 1. Yes, Gauff is number 3. Their draws offer protection, early. But history shows something important. Favorites don't win Grand Slams. Finishers do. Sabalenka has finished here before. Gauff hasn't, yet. For Sabalenka, can she maintain patience as tactical pressure increases? Will her adaptability hold against elite counterpunchers? Can she manage expectation fatigue? For Gauff, how does she handle adversity when the match flips? Will her serve remain reliable under stress? Can she turn dominance into inevitability? Wednesday wasn't about who looked better. It was about who is closer to inevitability. Sabalenka feels like a champion defending territory. Gauff feels like a challenger still knocking at the door. Both are talented enough to win this tournament. But only one has already proven she can conquer Melbourne. The Australian Open doesn't reward potential, it crown certainty. And as these two paths move forward, only one will survive the collision course ahead. Make sure you subscribe to USA News Hub United States. More breaking news. More powerful stories. More champions. Coming your way. See you soon.